Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Rob, and in today's video I'm going to talk about a TV show that ran from 1983 to 1986. It has 3 seasons, and it was called Hardcastle and Mccormick. Starring Brian Keith as Judge Milton C. Hardcastle, Daniel Hill Kelly as Mark McCormick. Some people just called him McCormick. Other people called him Skid Mark. And you also have Joe Santos, who played Lieutenant Frank Harper, and John Hancock, that played Lieutenant Michael Delaney. Now, I believe the one that played Frank Delaney was in the beginning series seasons. And the one that played Lieutenant Harper was in the third season, or the third season. I just can't remember which one was which, but it was a really good show. So it basically starts out, Mark McCormick, basically the story is, Mark McCormick is on probation. He's asked to, it basically starts out where McCormick is having coffee with a friend of his, a very close friend, who is building a prototype car called the Coyote X. Now, the Coyote X is a really nice car. It is basically, the best way I could describe it is it's basically a kit car. It's on a Volkswagen Beetle chassis with a Porsche 993 or something Porsche engine. Sounds really nice. I don't know how much is of the sound that they put in the TV show is computerized or the actual engine. Because in season 2 and 3, they had a different car. The car in season 2 and 3 was basically looked the same car. If you look closely in the pictures I put in the end, the cabin part, from the windows up, are a little bit different. It's wider, and the car looks slightly bigger. Also, on the sides behind the doors, there is little vents, and all that stuff. So anyways, back to the story. Mark McCormick is on probation, out of jail, and he's having coffee with his friend, and they're talking about a bunch of different stuff. One of the things talked about is how he's built, McCormick's friend is building the prototype, the Coyote, and wants him to drive it in the races and race it and all that stuff. And they're talking, and they're just talking, and his friend says, "Hey, don't you have an appointment?" He's like, "Yeah, I got plenty of time. Well, it's at such and such a time." And it's like, his friend looks at his watch and says, "Hey, it's already this time." And it's like, shoot, my watch is slow or stopped or something like that. And so they get in a car, they're driving down the road, and he's like, "Never gonna make it. Pull over here. I'm gonna try something." So he has a tape recorder, and I guess back in those days, in the 80s, you could call a number and get the weather, and at payphones, and you could call a number and get the time. So he did that. He does the recording. Says that at the tone, the time will be 5:01. So he goes to the probation office. Says hello, starts flirting with the secretary. Says, hey, when I'm gonna call this number, and I want you to play this tape. So, in the meantime, while McCormick's on his way, the probation officer called Judge Milton C. Hardcastle, letting him know that McCormick hasn't shown up yet. So he's like, okay, just hold him there and I'll be right down. So while we're on the subject of the judge, Judge Milton C. Hardcastle, and McCormick. McCormick is Judge Milton C. Hardcastle's last case. Judge Milton C. Hardcastle is within the next couple days. I don't remember. I don't think they've really said whether it was at this point it was his last day or two or his last week. I don't remember that. Well, anyways, he's retiring and all that stuff. And McCormick's his last case. So now back to McCormick. McCormick's in a probation officer. Gets to the probation officer. Probation officer starts saying, you're late, blah, 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 all that stuff. It's like, no, I'm not late. It's 5 o'clock. So, he does the phone number, plays it. It's like, okay, made a mistake. So they're walking, sets up another appointment, walking out to the elevator. As the door opens to the elevator, the judge walks off. She's like, okay, let's go, McCormick. And the probation officer's like, sorry, Judge, I made a mistake. He was here on time, and all that stuff. So, McCormick leaves. The probation officer asks the judge, why are you being such a, hard on this guy, or, I forget exactly what he said. And the judge says, I have a feeling he's the right person for a project I'm working on. Now, this project that the judge wants to work on is he wants to go after all these criminals and bad guys that slip through the cracks on the technicality. And all that stuff after he retires. And so that's what they do. So basically starts out where now the reason McCormick was in trouble for the first place, I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's not like he committed the typical crime that all these actual criminals did. So, I'm not saying it was right what he did in the show, and all that stuff, but he was only getting back what was rightfully his. So, the story behind it was, and the reason he was in jail, is he was a race car driver. He had a Porsche, all that stuff. He was living with someone, had a girlfriend. They were going through some hard times. So they're like, oh, you can put the registration and insurance in my name, and we'll save money and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. And it didn't really say whether they were there, together for a while. Just met this person. Almost sounded like they were engaged to be married, and all that stuff. So he did that. They broke up, and he just went, and basically stole his car back. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, Um, but it's not like he just went out there and stole a random car, or stole, robbed a bank, and was an actual, bad guy and criminal. He made the wrong choice. He went about getting his. He went and then got his car back the wrong way. So I wouldn't consider him an actual criminal, bad guy, or anything like that. Um, just a young kid who made the wrong choice. So, anyways, his friend gets killed. Um, his friend's daughter comes to him and starts to talk to him about a bunch of different stuff. How this one guy said that he was supposed to drive the Coyote, and she knows for a fact that. So, she knows for a fact that her dad wanted McCormick to drive the Coyote and race it. So, one thing is, I don't remember what led it up to him going to get it. She's like, wanted him, said we got to get it back somehow. But he went and broke into the warehouse where the Coyote was being stored. Ended up getting it out. And then he was racing around the warehouse lot, parking lot area. And he jumped the Coyote over a car hauler trailer. One of those ones that go down the road and you see like a couple cars on it. That they actually use. I think it was one of the ones that what you see on the back of a Ford F-350, 450, Ram 3500. Those trucks that have just like can fit like 3 or 4 cars on it. Not the big ones that tractor trailers haul. So he went and got that. Police officer crashed, rolled over. The car was on fire, so he went and pulled him out, and all that stuff. And then he came back to his house, and the cops were waiting for him. Got arrested. Judge came and saw him, talked to him about a couple different things. Now there was a couple times, and I don't remember what was discussed, what time. I know one time, Judge just discussed him, how he's in trouble, that, about his project. Another time, discussed, listened to his story, believed him, looked into it a little bit. I think he realized it when he heard, I think when McCormick mentioned one of the names, he realized something was fishy. So he got him out. The girl brought the Coyote to the judge's house. Now that's another thing about McCormick is and Hardcastle. So Hardcastle throughout the show was also referred to a lot of times as Hardcastle. I guess he was one of the hardest judges in the system. Very stubborn, all that stuff. So he had um, excuse me, um, there was this place that he lived at called Gull's Way, uh, and it was a big mansion. I'm gonna try to do a shot of it. I'm gonna add a picture of both coyotes from season 1, season 2, Hardcastle's truck in the later season. He had a nice Chevy or GMC truck. Kind of, if you ever seen the Fall Guy, it was a truck set up similar to that, but it was like black and silver. I'm gonna leave a picture there, and I'll try to leave a picture of the estate. It was on Pacific, it's somewhere on Pacific Coast Highway, um, in California. So it was a really nice date. McCormick was in the guest house. Hardcastle was in the main house. So he was released. McCormick was released into the judge's custody, so he had to go live there. And they ended up working on a lot of cases. The first case was they ended up going to Vegas. Long story short, they were going after the guy that killed his friend, who was also kind of like a father to him. And they caught the guy. I'm gonna put some pictures in. They had like a little track where the bad guy that took it, or was supposed to take it, or he was like some stunt man. They were going to go around a track and do something, and they ended up jumping it while he was chasing the bad guys. And they ended up catching the bad guys. And throughout the season, not so much in the third season, they were using the truck a lot. But the cops knew who the coyote that McCormick was in the judge's custody, because there was a couple times that just because the judge was dealing with other stuff, or the judge was in trouble, or they had split up for some reason, that McCormick was going after the bad guys himself. A lot of high-speed action in it. I think if you were one that liked Knight Rider, the Dukes of Hazzard, the A-Team, I definitely think you would like this show. Like I said, it was really good. 3 seasons. And they had the Coyote. The judge had a Corvette Stingray. You didn't see that much in the show. And they just go after the guys a lot, bad guys a lot. Everyone that's slipped through the cracks. Now, another thing at the end of the pilot movie, one thing the judge said is, hey, you got your probation appointment, you got to hurt. You're not going to make it there in 2 hours. You're not going to make it there doing the double nickel. So he also, so you know what you got to do. So he's like, make sure you save all your receipts for gas and oil and blah, 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 and I'll reimburse you. So did that, ends up leaving, getting chased by like 50 cops, and all that stuff. So, yeah, that was a really good show. I definitely recommend you checking it out, and all that stuff. So, when I watched this, I watched it on an app on the Roku and my tablet called Crackle. I was able to watch all 3 seasons. The only bad thing about it, however, was for some reason you're supposed to be looking at the stuff, and the way it seems like you're supposed to be able to sign in so that like other apps, so that you can continue watching stuff from where you left off. And it just remembers, like what you watched and all that stuff. But for some reason, every time I had to do it, went to watch it, like when I went and watched it on the Roku in the bedroom, or the Roku in the TV, or on my tablet, I always had to go search for it, type it in, and then try to remember what the last episode I watched. Because like depending on what I watched it on, sometimes I was, like my tablet would be on episode 5, and then the bedroom would be on like 6 or vice versa. But Crackle is a free app. I don't know if you can currently watch it on the Crackle app. I just tried and it was just doing the loading thing. But it did pop up there. However, when I did watch it a while back, when I searched it on the Roku itself, because one thing you can do with the Roku, and I did a video on it, is you can type in an actor's name. So let's just use, Mr. T, for example. Or, David Hasselhoff, because I was just talking about the Knight Rider. You can type him in, and it will show him, like, all the movies he's been in. For example, like, he's been in Baywatch. He's been in Click. And Knight Rider. So like any movie that's available on there, it will show you, all these shows that he's in. So it will show you, it'll pop up Baywatch, it'll pop up Knight Rider, it'll pop up Click, and it will tell you whether it's on, Tubi, it's on Plex, it's on Prime Video, it's on, any of those apps. It will tell you what it's on, if it's included with subscription, if you have to pay for it, all that stuff. So it's not coming on the search on the Roku anymore right now. So I don't know if you're going to be able to watch it. I would suggest going on there, checking the Crackle app. It could be just, a case of it's just loading because it needs to be updated or something, or my internet's being temperamental this morning, working the apps. But so yeah, I would seriously go check it out. It's definitely a really good show. Lots of action, high-speed chases. So I don't know if I'd be able to find it, but in the beginning of the show, Hardcastle had, and that they ended up towing the coyote to Vegas with in the pilot movie. He had, I want to say it's somewhere like probably like a 1950, 1960 something uh, Chevrolet pickup. I'm gonna type in 1950, 1960s Chevy pickup to see if I can find it compared to the new one he got. And I might put the pictures in uh, of it. But yeah, that's a really good show, and I definitely recommend you checking it out. If you like anything with cars, high speed chases, the coyote, and all that stuff. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you all have a great day.